This video I'm going to show you how to design a simple logo like this, what you are seeing on the screen in Adobe Photoshop. So without further ado, let's get started. Guys, thank you very much. If you are new here, I would like you to subscribe to my channel, and if you are old here, please I would like you to give me a feedback at the comment section. So let's head toward Photoshop and see how we can come up with the logo you saw on the screen. So first of all, I will create a new document that will guide us to create whatever we want to create. So I'm basically using Photoshop 2019. So whatever version you are using, even CS4, CS5, CS6, or any version of Photoshop, whether CC or CSS version, you can easily create a logo like what we are going to do. So I'll create a new document. I already have a size here, 3.3 by 3.3. So I'll maintain it, but this size can also work for any other design concerning logos, this kind of square format. So you can also create either A4 size or Lega or any other size at all, but I prefer we go for 3.3 by 3.3. So let me go to the recent and pick my costumes at 3.3 by 3.3. The resolution is 500. I kept it 500 because of the size. So let's hit on create to create our new document. Now in Adobe Photoshop, what we have, so we have to create the logo from scratch to the end. So I'm going to take it slowly. First of all, what I did was very simple. I created a circle. You see in the logo. So I draw the circle first, and then I give it a color. So this is automatically, it has already taken the background color, which is black. So maybe we can maintain it the way it is. We can maintain the background color. But what I did was I took off the field. So I set the field to 0, and then I gave it a stroke of blue color. So you can also do that. And then the stroke, let's give it a size of, I think this particular size is kind of thin for me. So let me increase the size to maybe 10. It's okay for me. 10 is okay for me. So I will center the circle, Control Command A. Then you click on the center alignment to center, Control Command D to deselect. So now we have to create the inner circle. And how to do this? We use the same format. It's either we duplicate this particular circle or we draw a new circle and then use it. But for the purpose of this video, let's create a new circle and add it to it. So let's go to the rectangular to pick our elliptical 2 and then draw another circle. So I'll hold on to shift and draw another circle. But if you're using new versions of Photoshop like 2021, 2022, I don't think you have to hold shift. So but I'm using 2019, so I just have to hold shift to maintain the circular portions of the circle on the elliptical mark U2. So with this particular one, we can open it up. We can open it up a bit. Something like this is okay. So we hit on enter, or let's reduce the size a bit. Let's reduce it again. Okay, this way is okay. So Control or Command A, then center align, Control Command D to deselect it. Now in this particular circle, you can see the logo we saw on the screen. We had a red background around it, but our outer layer is blue. So this one I have to change it to blue. So you can go to the effect control panel or layer style panel and change the color to blue. So this one is red, so you just click on the color blue, set it to deep blue, and then you are good to go. And then the inner circle, what we will do is that one we will not take off the field, but we will give it a stroke of red or wine, something like that. So let's give it a stroke of red. So that one to automatically that's taking blue. So what you do is you set your red color. So you click and then you leave it as it is. And then the field is black. So let's change the field to blue. So you can decide to pick the blue from the outer layer or the outer stroke. So now the first part of our logo is almost done. Now we are left with the inner items. How to create those things you saw on the logo. So first of all, what I'll do is I'll set a new guideline I'll set a new guideline that will help me to use my pen tool properly to create what you saw on the screen. So first of all, I'll go to view, then I'll go to new guide. So at the vertical side, I'll set it to 30%, then I'll hit on enter. Then I'll set another guide to maybe 70 or 60, 70%. Let's see, 70%, maybe 70% will work for me. Then okay, so this position is okay for me. Then I will set another one at the middle, which will be horizontal, but that one maybe we can set it to 50%. So that one will be a new guide. So let's set that one to 50% and then hit on enter. Okay, that one too is vertical, so let's set the horizontal one. So let's set the horizontal one, new guide, set it to horizontal, and then create another 50%. We are creating all these guidelines to help us get accurate figure or accurate shape or whatever you are doing. When you set a guideline, it gives you a very straight measurement. The rulers help you to come up with it. So if you are not seeing the ruler in your Photoshop, just hit on Ctrl or Command R, all your rulers will be implemented. So when I click Ctrl or Command R, look, you see the rulers has now pop out at our interface. So now once I've been able to set up my guidelines, what I'll do is basically simple. I'll pick my pen tool, then I'll start to draw whatever thing I want to draw. So maybe I can basically set another guideline here to help me get the start point of whatever I want to create. So let me set another one here so that I'll get accurate measurement. I'll get accurate. So let me send this one top a bit, something like this is okay, and then bring another one here close to the top. Yes, close to the top, something like this is also okay. So let's pick our pen tool, then we will create a nice shape like what you saw on the screen. So you click and then you create. If you want to maintain a straight line, hold on shift and then you click. So if you get here, then just click at the points, the end of the points. So you create something like this. Then you hold on Alt, click and break the handle, then come to the other side of the point, create something like this. If you don't get a, hold Control Command Z to go back. So once I have it this way, I can use the Control key to transform it. Now I have something like this, and this is what I want. So here you can hold Alt and break the point here. When I get here, you can hold Shift and create a straight line. I'll come down here and create another one. So come down here and create the other point. Come here and create that one too. So once we are done with this particular aspect, I think we can right click inside, but make sure you have created a new layer. So right click inside and then fill the path, give it a color, and then click on OK. So now we have something similar like what we saw on the screen. You hit on enter, then we create the inner lines you saw. So what we do is basically simple. We will duplicate this particular one by holding Control or Command J. Then we will transform it a bit. We will transform this one out a bit like this, something like this, and then we transform the other side to inside a bit, something like this. Then we bring the upper one to out small. Hold on OK. Take off the field and give it a stroke of white. So this one will give it a stroke of white to get the inner shape, and reduce the size of the stroke as well. So what we do is basically simple. Just set the size to maybe 2 or 3, something like this. 4 is okay. So let's leave it at 4. Zoom in to see all the points. So if you want to see everything well, you can get rid of the guidelines. At this point, maybe we may still need the guidelines, but you can just take it off by holding Control Command H. All of them is gone. So you can zoom in and see the little effect you have applied to this particular design. So this is what we have been able to come out so far. So Control or Command H to bring our guidelines back. So what we do is we create another layer to implement what we saw at the middle. But before that, we take the rectangular tool and then pick line and draw a new line from here to the center of the logo and give it a color white. So once that one is set, you can hold on Control Command H to see your line. So this is the line and it's at the middle of the shape, which is okay. So create a new layer and then let's set what we have at the middle of the logo by picking our pen tool. Start from the points of the inner shape to the end, and then you draw some nice shape like this, and the other side too. Hold on Alt to break the handle, and then the other side too. Just create something nice like this. When you are done, give it a color white. You can fill the path with any color though, but you take off the color and give it a stroke instead. So now we have this. You can take off the fill completely and then you give it a stroke of white color. So we have something like this, what you see on the screen. And at this point, we are almost done with the middle effect. So what you do is basically simple. You can now bring your resources inside. So I have downloaded quite a few resources that we use for this logo. So I have my resources here. I have this art boy and I have book and I have graduation cap. So what you do is basically simple. You click on the inner shape and then start to import our items on it. So the first one that we have to import is the book. So we will import the book and then size it to fit the size of the logo. So maybe this is how we want it. You can size it, but before that I think we have to a bit expand this particular thing. So let's kind of expand it. Let's expand this thing a bit. So hold on and then just adjust it small. We have to increase the size. Now hit on OK, Control Command H, and then we have something like this. Yes, I think this way is enough for me. Now you can pick the move tool, click on the book and then position it. I think it's too big, so you can still transform it. If the transform is not sure, you can hold Control or Command T to implement your transform too. So I think this way is okay for me. So now let's bring our graduation cap also. This is the cap, so we will leave that one too at the other side. So hold the end and then transform it gently. Drag it to the other portion. Size it well. And that one too, we have something like this. So this way is okay for me. Yeah. Okay. But that one we will stroke the path with white color. So I'll just stroke it like this and leave it. And then we are left with the vector image. So I'll bring that one to the down part and then I'll size it gently. Bring it to the top. Still size it. It's quite big. Still size it and then you can leave it here. I think this way is okay. Now I can say at this point we are almost done with 80% or almost 90%. Yes, we are done with almost 80% because we are left with the written and then the stand at the bottom. So before that, we have to create the stand because the written will not take us any time. So let's first of all create the stand. So how do we then create that stand? So I'll click on the inner circle because kind of I want it to overlap, or I want it to lap on that particular side. So I'll go to the rectangular toolbar. I'll pick my rectangle tool. Then I'll draw a simple rectangle. It's not anything. So just draw a normal rectangle, something like this. It's okay. And then you give it a color, red or wine. So maybe let's give it the color at the border. Pick this color, drag it here, and then move it down. So we have something like this. So let's reduce the outer circle a bit. Control or Command A to center it. Now we can kind of position it at the top a bit. Now we have something like this. It's okay. So now let's drag our logo inside something like this. So it's quite simple. Hold Control Command A to center it. Then you move it upwards a bit, something like this. So we are done with the rectangle aspect, but you can see there are some kind of shapes at the end of the rectangle. So that is the main deal. So how do we then create that shape? So let's create a new layer on top of the rectangle so that we can use the layers and come out with a separate shapes. It's not anything. So just pick your pen tool and then come in between any part of the logo. So maybe this particular side is okay for me. Maybe I can hold here. You can zoom in to see the ends so that you don't make a mistake. And then I click here. No, this is kind of outside. I still the same. We can transform it. Hold the shift to maintain a straight line. So let me bring one of the rulers here to maintain accurate position or accurate measurement. So from here we can kind of create something like this. Let's see what we have now. So click and give it a color. Fill in with the color red or the same color as this one. Leave it. Hit on enter and then give it a stroke of white. It's too big, so reduce it to maybe 2 or 3. 3 is okay for me. 3 is okay for me. So now with this one we can duplicate it and set it to the other side too. So what you do is you pick the move tool, hold Control Command G to duplicate this one, click and then flip it. Then you can easily set it to the other side of the rectangle, something like this. It's okay. So now let's leave it. Hold on and then something like this. It's okay. So now we can draw a straight line from the end points to the other. So let's pick our line tool and draw a straight line from the point or the corners to the corners. A straight line like this is okay. And then give it a color white. How do we see the straight line? Control Command H. Let's get rid of the guidelines. Now this is the line you see. So now at this point, what you basically do is you write what they have at the bottom here. So they said best future for all children. So let's pick into rather. So you press T on the keyboard. Then you click any part. So let me set the color to white. And then the font, I'll change it to Aston police or poppins. So let me use Aston police. I like it. Then I'll even reduce the size and type in the best future for all children. Our nice typography. Control Command A, center it, and then Control Command D to deselect. So let's duplicate this one and reduce the size and the font face too. So let's set this one to okay, Aston police is already regular, so let's leave it like that. So we can then type in our motto. So let's increase the motto size a bit. Control or Command A to center, Control Command D to deselect. So now let's apply our rectangle over this logo. Just draw a very simple rectangle and then give it a new color. So maybe something like this is okay. Our rectangle is black, so let's bring it down, give it color white, and then change the color of the motto to color of the inner circle. So we have something like this. So now at this point we are done with 99% of the logo. So we are almost done with our logo. So what is left is we have to write around the circle. How do we then do that? So let's select the inner circle. We have path selection to this particular tool. When you click on it, that is the particular tool that's going to guide us to write around the path. So just pick your type to come inside that particular circle. Just one click, and then you will have lorem around it. So you just type inside directly. So the name of the tool is Best Brain Grammar Academy. Yeah, you can increase the size. Best Brain Grammar Academy. We have something like this. It's okay. Let's increase the size again, and then okay. We then give it a color red, and then position it well. So let's send it outside a bit. And you can reduce the size also. If the size is too big for you, you can reduce the size. We have a size like this. Okay. So now let's open it up small. Okay, something like this is okay for me. And then bring it closer so that you can open the top. So this is what we have now. We have Best Brain Grammar Academy. So this is all about how to create a logo. So this logo, I did it for one of my clients, and I have been able to show you the procedure. So you can just pause the video, you look at the flyer very well, then you apply it step by step. Please, if you find this video helpful, or if you have learned something new from this video, I would urge you to give me a subscribe and then also turn on the notification so that anytime I drop educational video like this, you can also learn something new from it. Thank you. Have a nice day.